Lisa, there is an absolute frenzy of excitement here.
There certainly is. Here's the lineup for the women's all-around final, the very best 24 competitors in the world.
What an extraordinary lineup it is. We could talk you through it, or we could just let you sit and look at those names, because they are absolutely mighty names. This is going to be an extraordinary competition. Obviously, the world is expecting that it will be Simone Biles once again. She's the overwhelming favourite in the top qualifier, but titles have to be won on the day. We start from zero.
We do. They've come from qualification, just the top two per nation being permitted into this final. And the all-around, that means the gymnasts compete on all four apparatus, the vault, the uneven bars, the beam and the floor, and all of those scores added together to that most prestigious title, the world's all-around champion.
And I think that's the key thing, isn't it, Lisa? Everything added together, and consequently, this is the one for the consistent gymnast.
It is. They have to show versatility across the apparatus, and each apparatus has their own specific demands. They need to keep focused. 4 routines separate them from a world title.
And it begins now. We have 4 groups of gymnasts. The top qualifiers will start on the vault and go in the so-called Olympic order of apparatus. There'll be a second group that will start on the uneven bars. The third strongest group will start on the balance beam, and those in the 4th highest group of qualifiers will begin on the floor exercise. There are certainly plenty of names in that second group of gymnasts who could really trouble and break through, and you just never know what will happen below them, the 3rd and 4th. Some gymnasts have qualified with maybe one significant deduction here and there. They lose that, and suddenly they fly up the standings.
Yes, no carryover score whatsoever, so it's a level playing field. It's anybody's game today.
The gymnasts that will be starting on the floor exercise, Brooklyn Moores, the 25th strongest in qualification. Diana Varinska, the 18-year-old from Kiev, the 26th strongest in the qualification process. The veteran gymnast from Palma in Mallorca, Cynthia Rodriguez, the 24-year-old, was the 27th strongest in the qualification.
Representing Australia, Georgia Goodwin.
Commonwealth Games medalist and 5 times Australian national champion Georgia Godwin is the 22nd strongest after qualification. 19-year-old Hitomi Hadakeda was the 23rd best in qualification and dominated at the World University Games in Napoli this summer.
Representing the Netherlands, Naomi Visser.
The reigning Dutch all-around champion Naomi Visser, the 18-year-old, was the 24th strongest in qualification. We move to the gymnasts who will be starting on the balance beam, and Aline Fries, the 17th strongest in qualification, just 16, and was 4th in the all-around at the European Games.
Switzerland, Julia Steingruber.
What a wonderful return for Julia Steingruber, the veteran 25-year-old Olympic medalist and World Championship medalist, was the 19th strongest in qualification and is the reigning Swiss champion. Elisa Iorio has nerves of steel. She managed to deliver the crucial performance for Italy that secured them a team bronze medal, a historic team bronze medal a couple of days ago. She was the 20th strongest in qualification. It's the reigning all-around champion in the host nation, Sarah Voss, the 19-year-old from Frankfurt. She was the 14th strongest in qualification. Commonwealth Games medalist and reigning European balance beam champion Alice Kinsella has been so consistent for the team. Now she competes as an individual. The British gymnast was the 15th strongest in qualification. It's the reigning Japanese all-around champion Asuka Teramoto, the 23-year-old, a real veteran performer. 16th strongest in qualification. This is the group that will begin on the uneven bars, the 2nd strongest in qualification. Flavia Saraiva, 11th best, the 20-year-old from Rio de Janeiro.
representing the Russian Federation, Lilia Achaimova.
Lilia Achaimova, the 12th strongest in qualification, the 22-year-old from St. Petersburg.
Representing Italy,
Giorgia Vila, the three-time Youth Olympic Games champion, 13th strongest in qualification, and a team bronze medalist with Italy just a couple of days ago.
Belgium, Nina Derwaal.
Nina Derwaal, the reigning world champion on the uneven bars, and guess what? That's where she starts. Could be well positioned, the 8th strongest in qualification.
Canada, Ellie Black.
2 years ago, this gymnast took a silver medal in the all-round competition in our home championships in Montreal. Ellie Black, the 24-year-old, was the 9th strongest in qualifying. Elizabeth Seitz, the 25-year-old from Heidelberg, is a 5-time German champion. She's also competed at the Olympic Games and has had tremendous success. She was a medalist at the World Championships last year and is the 10th strongest in qualifying. To the top group of gymnasts, Angelina Melnikova, the 19-year-old, was the 4th strongest in the qualification process.
Representing the People's Republic of China, Tang Jing.
Tang Jing, the 21st strongest in qualification, has come in to replace her teammate Liu Tingting, a great opportunity for the 16-year-old youth Olympian. Li Shijia, the 7th strongest in qualification, a World Championship debutant. She has looked very impressive indeed so far.
States of America, Simone Biles.
Going for number 5 and going for World Championship gold, number 16. She's already the most successful World Championship female gymnast of all time. Top qualifier, Simone Biles. But here's a gymnast the world's been noticing. First-year senior Sunisa Lee, the 2nd strongest in the all-around qualification process. Already a team gold medalist.
France, Melanie de Jesus dos Santos.
And we finish with the reigning European all-around champion, Melanie de Jesus dos Santos, the 3rd strongest in qualification here, the 19-year-old born in Martinique. Phew. I mean, what a set of gymnasts that is.
What a lineup it is. That is the lineup we have in front of us. 24 gymnasts. One of them in 2 hours' time will have their name on the world title. And the scene is set. The atmosphere is certainly one to remember here in Stuttgart. They're warming up, and the gymnasts get their opportunity as well now as they make their way to the apparatus.
The German representation here will most certainly galvanise the crowds if they needed galvanising in any way, but I guess for all of the gymnasts here, it's just a case, isn't it, of get through this warm-up like you would any other warm-up in your life.
Yes, they'll be very happy to get down to business now and put some of that adrenaline and the nerves into practice while they just familiarise themselves with the competition arena.
So this is the group of gymnasts that is starting on the balance beam. They are the group that are the 3rd strongest qualifiers, 14th through to 20th from the qualification competition, and that's because only 2 gymnasts can actually make it into the final from any particular nation. So we might talk about somebody being, for example, the 27th in qualification, like Cynthia Rodriguez, and that's because of that rule.
Yes, it makes sure that many of these gymnasts have the opportunity to go through. It's not dominated completely by one nation, so it's nice to see a spread of talent across the world. We've had 92 different nations represented here at the World Championships. 540 across the 2 disciplines, and this is the lineup that's going to be starting on the uneven bars. And what a lineup it is.
Isn't it just, it really does favour Elizabeth Seitz and Nina Derwaal to get underway on their signature pieces. Giorgia Vila also has shown that she is a real performer on that piece as well. The top group always start on the vault, that is what's known as the Olympic order, and for them it means that a quarter of their competition, the first quarter, is done in the clicking of fingers, isn't it?
Yes, it's over in a matter of seconds, but those seconds count, don't they? It can be a great start from them, or if the apparatus at the beginning doesn't go well, they then need to compose themselves and concentrate on the rest of the competition, because as we've seen, it's not always lost if you give up, if one thing goes wrong, you've had it. But it may well be that you need to climb slowly back, as we've seen people do throughout the course of an all-around event. Some of these gymnasts have had faults in qualification, as you said, so we mustn't discount any of the groups at all. For example, you mentioned Giorgia Via. History was made with that bronze medal for Italy in the team event. She had a fall on beam in qualification. If she puts that right, her finishing score will be much higher. But it's all ifs and ands, isn't it? They have to do it when it counts.
And you just never really know what kind of all-around final you're going to get until it's up and running. And even then, sometimes you don't know until it's in its last moments. If you watch the men's team competition and the women's team competition, you'll know exactly what we're talking about, because they couldn't have been two more different competitions, actually.
No, that's right. The American women really dominated. There's such strength in depth. But it was interesting in terms of the silver and the bronze medal position, whereas in the men's competition, yesterday it went right down to the final routine with the People's Republic of China and Russian Federation battling it out, and the Russian Federation delighted to take the title for the first time ever.
Yes, we've seen plenty of history made in this arena, a huge amount of it. Just caught a glimpse there of Simone Biles, who's just won her 21st medal at the World Championships, the most successful female gymnast of all time. She's only a couple of medals away from tying and indeed then breaking the record to become the most successful gymnast of all time at the World Championships.
Yes, that's held by Vitaly Sherbo, and he was quite an incredible talent. But yes, records are there to be broken, aren't they? And who knows, over the next couple of days that might be the case.
And let's bear in mind as well that a female gymnast has fewer medals that they can win at a World Championships because of the smaller number of apparatuses, so even more extraordinary an accomplishment if and perhaps when that happens. But that's not really what any of these athletes will be thinking about right now. It's tackling the immediate task in front of them, isn't it?
Yes, and here we see the gymnasts warming up on the vault. Only one vault in the apparatus in the all-around event, 2 in the apparatus finals.
We just saw Tang Si-jing a moment ago, a real chance for her coming into this unexpectedly due to the withdrawal of her teammate Liu Ting-ting.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see if we see Liu Ting-ting come back to compete on the beam final, current world champion. But People's Republic of China opting to put in one of their gymnasts who qualified in 21st place, and they have the option to swap for a gymnast, so not giving an official reason for that.
Well, we are going to start with our attentions, unsurprisingly, on the vaulting activities of this first group. Their rotation will be over quite quickly, and that will give us a chance then to look at what's happening in the chasing pack. And quite early, we'll start to see a peloton emerge of those gymnasts just over the shoulder of the top performers, waiting for a chance to really strike and move into medal contention. We are awaiting the start of this competition. It begins now. Melanie de Jesus dos Santos. What a place to begin, the reigning European all-around champion, and she is going to vault. This, her first display.
Oh, and it's a very good start from Melanie de Jesus dos Santos. The double twisting Yurchenko, the same vault as she has performed in qualification here. The round up onto the board, backflip, very high flight, lovely form in the air, clearly round. And does a hop back on landing, but beautiful flight. Scored 14.6 in qualification.
Now we will head to the uneven bars, and this is a really good opportunity for a hugely experienced gymnast and one of the most popular in this field of play, in this arena. Elizabeth Seitz, the 2018 bronze medalist on the uneven bars at the World Championship. She starts on her signature piece, and she scored a very impressive 14.8 in qualifying.
Yes, it was the third highest score of all of the gymnasts. Very nice start, first release, cleanly through. High in the Jaeger somersault, feet together in the pike position. Stolder into the pike, Kachev, immediate combinations. This is where she builds the difficulty. Very impressive so far. Toe on, full pirouette. Kicks immediately into the full twisting double back somersault. A superb performance from Elizabeth Seitz to start her all-around campaign.
What a marvellous beginning that was from Elizabeth Seitz. We should never be surprised when she performs wonderfly on the uneven bars, but this is a gymnast who trains right here in Stuttgart. This is her home.
Yes, let's take a look at this again. Here's the Stolder release into the pike. That's the downy. Very difficult work. Immediate pack salto to catch the bottom bar, and then into the Stolder again, releasing up to the top bar. Many gymnasts will put an extra up start or a swing between. It's when they go from one to the next, those connections, that's what makes it so impressive. She had a 6.2 difficulty in qualification.
That's a very good start for Melanie de Jesus dos Santos. 14.633, up just a fraction from her 14.6 in qualifying. And so the vaulting continues. The top group of gymnasts after qualification. 2 Americans have made it through. Grace McCallum in 5th place in qualification had to miss out. But here is the second strongest qualifier, the 16-year-old Sunisa Lee.
Well, Sunisa Lee, a very elegant performer. A direct comparison there with Melanie de Jesus dos Santos as she performs the same vaults, same difficulty value, so it's literally down to the execution. Here, backward entry, pushing up, wrapping into the twist again. Nice flight in the air, just the pace back. Slightly apart on landing, but a good vault.
14.866 on the uneven bar for Elizabeth Seitz. That's up from qualification. I just made up a new word there. Now over to Sunisa Lee to wait for her score to come in. Those of you who are new to watching the sport, we've just mentioned difficulty and execution. And my colleague alongside me, Dr. Lisa Gannon, knows far more about all that than I do.
Well, yes, there's a mark out of 10 for execution. Points been taken off for any breaks in form. And the difficulty, as you see there, 5.4. Execution, 9.066, which gives her the score of 14.466.
So down just a fraction, down by a single tenth, that's all from qualification. It is Simone Biles who is going to be the next gymnast to take to the vaulting table. And she scored a 15.066 in the qualification process. The gymnast who first won the all-around title at the World Championships in 2013. There is the extensive CV of Simone Biles in miniature, because there's even more than that. Here she goes.
Oh, and a beautiful vault once again from Simone Biles. She powers into the vault, a 6.0 difficulty, and she is capable of more. So she's already 0.6 up on the previous 2 vaulters. Half turn onto the vault, into the flight with 1.5 twists. Incredibly difficult. The Cheng, as it's known as. Backwards on half turn, beautiful flight. She actually scored 15.4 in the team final. So she's already done this twice at these World Championships. And each time beautifully performed. You see the lines there, just trying to stay within them. Judges looking for central landing, but so much length, so much explosion off the top.
Likely to be a very strong number indeed for Simone Biles to get things underway. Meanwhile, Ellie Black has scored 14.133 on the bars, and Biles has got a 15.233, just a single tenth penalty there.
Now this should be something special.
Well, we've always got time to look at the reigning world champion, and if you are new to watching Nina Derwal on the uneven bars, it'll be over in a flash, because she combines things like nobody's business.
The highest scorer from qualification will make the uneven bars final, and there, toe on into that straight catch. So impressive. She's tall, she's elegant, and look at that, into grip, into the edge of her, back from the Stolder, up to the top bar. It's happening so quickly. All of these incredibly difficult combinations put together. Beautiful line in handstand, extension right the way through to the toes, the pirouette, the full twisting double somersault, and there it goes.
I don't know how you managed to get all of those terms in there, Lisa, well done. That is absolutely superb from Nina Derwal. Yes, one of the greatest in the world on the uneven bars, but also a real all-around contender. The 8th strongest in qualification, and she finished very well last year.
Here's the Stolder. Up into the straddle Kachev. 2 mixed grip. That's the Durwal, her own skill. Moving into the edge of her. And regress, looking at the top bar, keeping her form all the way through. So consistent. And this, the full pirouette, kicks into the double somersault with the full twist, and a beautiful landing, and a smile to match even.
Don't think they could quite believe it was that good. Wow, what a series of routines we have just seen from all of these performers. Li Shijia is the next competitor.
And again, the double twisting Yurchenko from her. Very nice performance. Scored 14.466 in qualification. Flight off the top, cleanly through the 2 rotations. Another strong start for her. She'll be pleased with that.
7th strongest overall in the qualification process, a 14.433, so that's virtually what she achieved in qualification. We're seeing a really good start. Now, has she managed to go a little bit beyond what she achieved in qualification? Yes, she has, actually, by almost a 10th, 15.2 for Nina Durwal.
Look at that difficulty, 6.5. Beautiful routine.
And may it continue like this, because this has been quite a start indeed. Well, it's a great opportunity for Tang Xijing, the 21st strongest in qualification, but in this top group as a direct replacement for Liu Tingting, her teammate. And she has got ground to make up on the balance beam. More on that later.
Well, it's a determined approach and a very nice double twist to Yurchenko, just a bend in the knees as she landed. Obviously, they have to absorb the forces, but not too much. They don't want to be too low in the landing. We'll come back to that score later.
Now, for the balance beam, we're going to have a look at Sarah Voss, the reigning German all-around champion. Just before that, Alice Kinsella, the European champion, scored 13.8.
Sarah Voss, 19 years of age, turned 20 on the 21st of October. And there, the flick into 2 layout somersaults. Nice performance, a difficult combination. Oh, and that was difficult as well. Leap with the full turn. Safely through the aerial cartwheel. Linking those skills together, the free walk over the leap into the back flip. Settling into her rhythm, this is good. And the side somersault. Well, acrobatic elements shown in all directions so far. She's building to her dismount. Needs to keep her concentration right to the end. And she does the 2.5 twist to finish. A glorious routine from Sarah Voss to start her all-around event.
Nerves of steel all around the field of play right now.
This is super work, isn't it? Look at that, high in the 2.5 twist, feet locked together. And a big smile as she spots the landing. She knew she'd done a good job.
Well, not only did she win the German Championship, she won the balance beam as well. And it's 14.166 for Tang Xijing, just down by a 10th from qualifying. And the 0.1 penalty, perhaps indicative there. Now we have a gymnast who's the reigning all-around champion from the European Games that took place in Minsk earlier on in the year. Angelina Melnikova has for so long been a big part of this team.
Yeah, she's never won an individual world medal. She's been so close in the past. 5th all around last year, 4th on floor. took a silver with the team a couple of days ago. Let's see what she can offer. And again, the same vault, that double twist in Yurchenko. All of the vaulters performing so well in this first group. Scored 14.453 in qualification, went a 10th higher in the team competition. Feet locked together. Very central landing from her, just that pace back or hop back to control the landing, but a good start.
Everywhere we look at the moment, gymnasts are improving upon what they did in qualification. And that is highly exciting. Georgia Vilas just scored 14.333 on the uneven bars. Georgia Godwin, 13.233 on the floor. Here's Lilia Akimova.
Yes, halfway through her routine now, just gaining momentum there. She just lost it for a little bit, had to use a bit of strength. The forward giant into the double tuck in the forward direction. Very nice landing on that. So I don't know if she's having to be lifted on in the middle. I don't know quite what happened there when we came to her. I'm sure the score will show us here. That was the dismount, no problem there.
Bring you some clarification on that in just a moment, and also the scores of Sarah Voss and Angelina Melnikova. And then what we'll do in a short while is give you a 1/4 mark update. Now it is back to Sarah Voss, 13.866. She's picked up almost 3/10.
It's a very good start for her. Beautiful routine.
What about Angelina Melnikova? 14.433 for her vaulting display. Exactly the same as she delivered in qualification.
Some of these gymnasts performing for the 3rd time now already.
Now there's clarification that all didn't go quite according to plan for Lilia Akimova. 12.066 for her. Now, what a pleasure it will be to watch Cynthia Rodriguez on floor, a gymnast of extraordinary style.
Beautifully expressive hands. That's double spin in the split position. Very high and well-controlled double pipe back somersault to begin her acrobatic series. She's so expressive. Look at the artistry, so important in women's floor work. Orchestrated version of an Ed Sheeran piece. Maybe singing along at home. The double twist, again, super control. Look at the ankle extension. Exquisite. Oh, that was a beautiful floor routine from Cynthia Rodriguez.
She is just a performer of extraordinary balletic style.
She really is so graceful. And we talk about artistry and how more prevalent it is in this women's code at the moment. She'll be delighted that her team placed 12th, qualifying for Tokyo. Big improvement for Spain, spurred on by that. And here we see her with her tumbling. This was the double pike. Very nice control. Nice balance between acrobatic and dance elements.
So many in the gymnastics world have wanted and waited for Cynthia Rodriguez to get her Olympic moment.
Yeah, she's been competing since back in 2010, her first World Championships in Rotterdam. highly experienced, but never made the Olympics, so fingers crossed everything goes well for next year for her. Great start at this World Championship in the all-around competition.
Stuttgart ist die Stimmung, aber die Hände ein bisschen hören von euch, auf geht's!
12.6 for Cynthia Rodriguez. She's currently in 17th place in the all-around competition. Flavia Saraiva of Brazil scored a 13.3 on the uneven bars. And that was a gain of about half a mark for her, so that's a promising start. We now go to Julia Steingruber, Olympic bronze medalist and World Championship bronze medalist on the vault, but now on the beam.
Change leg, split knee to start, into the free walkover. Difficult punch front somersaults. These forward skills, you spot the beam very late, so quite hard to land. Flick layout. Key with beam, not to let the nerves get the better of you. And the pike front somersault, a different shape, so it counts. Every skill has to be different. Change leg into the side somersault, a bit of a wobble, but she holds herself strongly, preventing the fall. And then building into the gainer with the full twist, a lovely beam routine. She drew on all of her experience there. It's great to have her back at world level.
A World Championship final is a better thing with the Julia Steingruber in it.
Yes, that was the dismount, the full twisting gainer somersault. You travel forwards off the end with backward rotation and the full twist. Very difficult. The first Swiss female gymnast to win a European all-around title. And highly decorated.
The floor exercise, where the gymnasts in the fourth group of qualifiers are competing. Diana Warinska, she was the bronze medalist in the all-round competition at the European Games in Minsk.
Oh, the 1.5 twist into the triple, difficult work to start. And a double spin with a leg at horizontal. Two and a half punch front. So high up on her toes in releve. Unusual choreography, very expressive. And the double tuck back somersault. Look at the splits there. Extension right the way through to her fingertips. A lovely performance from Diana Warinska.
It's such an unusual, entertaining and stylish floor routine, isn't it?
It really is. She feels every beat of the music, which is so important. That's what makes a good floor worker stand out. But she has some fantastic acrobatic elements as well. Here, the 1.5 twist, walking out immediately and up into a triple twist. Very difficult, lots to fit in across the diagonal. And here, lifting up again 2.5 immediate punch front. Has to control the elements to be able to link them together. Timing of landing and takeoff, absolutely critical. This was the final tumble pass, that double tuck.
.8 for Julia Steingruber on the balance beam, just slightly up from qualification by less than a tenth. What of Diana Varinska? We're still in the first rotation, just to be explicitly clear. So the good news is, if you're just switching on now, we've got a lot of gymnastics still to come. Don't go anywhere. It's all too soon to tell. We're going to have a very compact top of the leaderboard, as you'll see in just a short while. Still got some more performances on floor and beam to come. Vault and uneven bars, of course, are wrapped up because they always wrap up a little bit earlier. Varinska, that will do nicely, 13.4. She's gained well over half mark, more like 3/4 of a mark from the qualification performance.
Yes, and a 0.1 extra on her difficulty value as well. All of those spins so important.
Gymnastics is technical. Gymnastics is about execution. But sport should stir you. Sport should move you. Sport should make you feel something. Over to Brooklyn Moores.
Now, this is something special in terms of artistry. Oh, handspring, double front, half turn, very difficult. Look at the emotion in her movement. Handspring, double twist, single twist, linked together. Beautiful leap. What an absolute joy to watch. Passion, emotion, gymnastics artistry at its best.
One of the great storytellers in this sport, Brooklyn Moores.
Yes, it's no surprise that she won the Longines Prize for Elegance, made the floor final at the 2017 World Championships. Here we see her in action with the dynamic first tumble pass. Handspring double front with the half turn, very difficult. Not only did she have the beautiful artistry, she did have those tumble passes as well to match. Superb floor worker. Double twisting front, full twisting front, linking them together, highly difficult and very well executed. Finishing with a final flourish. Certainly a memorable performance.
The winner of the gold medal on the floor exercise at the Pan American Games in Lima just earlier this summer. Brooklyn Moores, the teenager from Ontario. Also a very fine all-around gymnast at the Canadian Championships earlier in the summer. She did manage to take the bronze medal.
Yeah, scored 13.566 in qualification. Be interesting to see what the judges make of that routine. beautiful to watch. They're enjoying things.
As I hope are you watching the competition. It's wonderful to have you with us. Ollie Hogben here and Dr. Lisa Gannon bringing you all of the action from Stuttgart and reflecting upon the extraordinary storytelling ability of Brooklyn Moores, who scores 13.566, bang on the qualification score. No change there. And that brings us to our first opportunity to look at the numbers. It is Simone Biles, by a fraction. Nina Derwal in second place. Elizabeth Seitz of the host nation very close behind. Melanie de Jesus dos Santos and Sunisa Lee are the top 5 at the moment. Looking our way down the order, Sarah Voss was impressive on the balance beam. Brooklyn Moores, who we've just seen perform so wonderfully on the floor, along with Diana Varinska, who is below that in 11th, 13th and 14th place respectively, with the European champion on the balance beam Alice Kinsella around that mark. Georgia Godwin, who started on floor, made a good improvement upon her qualification score. What we have seen essentially, Lisa, everyone is there and they are really delivering at the moment.
Yes, at the moment we've seen some fabulous performances, haven't we? And there's just a mark between 1st and 8th at the moment. We know a whole mark is what is deducted if they fall from an apparatus, and we certainly know that some gymnasts have their specialist apparatus. Even though this is an all-around competition, some are certainly stronger on some pieces than others.
To the floor exercise, Alice Kinsella of Great Britain will get the whole group started in this particular rotation. It's the second of the 4 rotations. To the vaulting table for the gymnasts that began with their first rotation on the floor exercise. It's going to be Hitomi Hatakeda, the Japanese gymnast, who gets things underway there. It's the group of gymnasts that qualified 23rd through the 27th in the overall standings in the all-around competition. The uneven bars is where the top group are going to be. The leader, Simone Biles, will be second to go.
Yes, they change in terms of the order of competing, so the same gymnast isn't up first every single time, which means we should be finishing with Simone Biles on floor.
That'd be rather fun. Lilia Akaimova, we just had a glimpse of there, who didn't have it quite according to plan on the uneven bars, so she's playing a little bit of catch-up. Georgia Vila competing on the balance beam here. That will be most interesting because we've seen 2 different sets of balance beam routines from the Italian team. That of qualification and that of the team final, or night and day as it's otherwise known. Yes,
Georgia Vila went first with the team in qualification. Unfortunately had a fall, which unsettled the rest of the team. It wasn't the same story in the team final, though. She absolutely nailed it, and she'll be wanting to do the same again today to give herself the best individual chances of success.
There is the leader. Started with a very impressive vault score of 15.233, but Nina Derwal is very close indeed. The gap is a matter of hundredths. And there, the gymnast in 3rd position in the competition, Elizabeth Seitz of Germany. Certainly, if she has any waivers on balance beam, the crowd will be there to kind of blow her back into the correct path.
Yes, it's always nice to know that you've got support from your home nation, isn't it? So you, I don't know if it's an advantage on beam or not, really. More pressure, I suppose it depends on the gymnast. You just have to go through your job and keep focused on the task at hand.
There is a pressure handler, Ellie Black, the all-around silver medalist from Montreal in 2017.
Yes, Ellie Black. She's such a consistent performer, isn't she? Done it time and time again. Placed 8th coming into this final and qualified in 8th position anyway. So in the all-around in her home nation, Montreal. Twice Olympian.
Ellie Black of Canada to the balance beam, second piece for her.
Very difficult double spin to start, completed with ease. And a confident tuck front somersault. Flip into straight somersault, two-footed landing. And the floor music almost accompanying her. Series of leaps into the back flip, right to the end, using the entirety of the apparatus. And the side somersault. This is a strong performance so far from Ellie Black. And she finishes off with a 2.5 twisting somersault. A superb performance once again. She never fails to impress.
The reigning Pan American and Commonwealth Games all-around champion, Ellie Black of Canada, 24-year-old from Halifax in Nova Scotia.
This is that tuck front somersault. Wow, she's so confident. She's got such belief in herself, and rightly so, because she delivers every time. Concentrating right the way through to the end. Wrapping in 2.5 twists, difficult to land, but not for her. Well done, Ellie Black.
Competition temperament. Japan competing on the vault with Hitomi Hatakeda. She scored a 12.733 on the floor exercise, comes into this in 20th position.
And the 1.5 twisting Yurchenko from her. Scored 14.033 in qualification. So the round off on, backflip off. Now, very nice form in the air, very nice straight position. 1.5 twists, so slightly lower difficulty value than we saw previously.
Takeda scores 13.8 for her vault, so she's down just a little bit from the qualification score, which was just above 14. She was the all-around champion at the World University Games. Ellie Black gets a score of 14 on the balance beam, and that's up by around about half a mark. That's interesting.
Yes, that may be significant as we progress through the competition.
That's a very good number delivered by Ellie Black there on the balance beam. The uneven bars, it is Sunisa Lee currently in 5th position.
We know she is strong on this apparatus. Toe on, straight catch over. Oh, but she's hit it. Well, goodness me.
Well, that is the first setback for Sunisa Lee, and she's going to have to make a quick recovery now.
Yes, let's see. Went into the pack salto. Almost one hand got left behind. She lost her form, and unusually, they have core strength, so the feet glide through, but they hit the floor, and she couldn't get back into a rhythm, and that fall will incur a 1-mark deduction. Full twisting pack now. Getting back into her swing. And circle, 1.5 pirouettes into the pike Jaeger somersault. This is better. And a lovely dismount, as we'd expect. Super recovery, but a shame there in the middle of the routine. She will now need to really concentrate and to make the best of the rest of the competition.
Well, she did finish that extremely well after what happened before. Yes, the 1 mark will be deducted for the unintentional dismount from the bars, but great recovery.
Yes, that was the dismount. Beautiful lift into the full twisting double tuck. We have to remember, she's still just 16 years of age. This is her first World Championships.
Georgia Godwin.
And the full twist in Sukahara for her on vault. Approach the half turn on as opposed to the back flip, as we see in the Yurchenko. Just one twist, a 4.8 difficulty value, but cleanly through, a nice performance from her. And Yes, unfortunately Australia in agonising 13th place in qualification, but she will make it through to Tokyo.
13.733 for Georgia Goldwyn. What a moment it was for her when she won the Commonwealth Games all-around silver in her backyard in Gold Coast last year. Superb moment for the Queensland-based athlete. She's from Southport. Now, this was a tricky moment for Sunisa Lee on the uneven bars, and there will be a costly deduction coming in. How costly, we'll have to see. It's 13.133 for Sunisa Lee. She's down by almost 2 marks on the uneven bar score from qualification.
Yes, that's a shame. But she's already won a gold medal with the team. And we'll see her, I'm sure, in the apparatus finals as well. But she's got 2 more apparatus to go yet, beam and floor. We know she's strong on those, so she'll make the most of it. Meanwhile, our leader chalks up.
Yes, Simone Biles, the 4 times Olympic champion, including the all-around. The reigning world champion as well, Simone Biles, leading the way off the first rotation, now to the uneven bars.
Yes, look at that. Forward hip circle with a half turn, up to the high bar, swinging well. And a catch it in the straddle position. Toe on, full pirouette. And the pike catch Ev, immediate into the pack salto. That's it, toe on. Half turn to regrasp. Building up. Here's the big dismount. Double twisting, double tuck, and every time she absolutely spots it.
Pretty good case made there to stay in the lead. Looks ecstatic with that display. Does Simone Biles. A job thoroughly well done, as ever.
Well, here she goes. This is the big wind-up. She needs such elevation to be able to perform the 2 twists with the 2 somersaults. So much going on, and yet she has brilliant spatial awareness. She knows exactly where she is in relation to the mat, and she opens out and finishes with that beautiful smile.
Sensational gymnastics so far. Now, this is going to be a most interesting moment in the competition, because it was here in qualification that Georgia Vila scored 12.533, but she was much stronger in the team competition.
Yeah, so 13.6 in the qualification. It was on the skill that she's just about to do that she had difficulty. Let's see how it goes this time. Well, incredibly difficult. The full twisting back somersault, and she nails it this time round. Double wolf spin, she's off. Well, it is a difficult spin. Do not underestimate the difficulty of those dance elements. But still, she will be disappointed with that. That's a nice linking skill. Leap into the aerial cartwheel. Slight readjustment there. And completes the routine with a round-off double twist. Well, again, we still have to remember she's a World Championship debutante. That was incredible, though. Round-off, full twist. What risk.
Simone Biles, 14.733, exactly what she did in qualification on the uneven bars, and leading the way just shy of 30 points so far.
She really seems to enjoy the competition, doesn't she? She thrives on the atmosphere.
They thrive, those who are creating the atmosphere, on watching her. The uneven bars, well, we've got some drama really starting to creep into the competition here, some unexpected moments perhaps. Li Shijia, who scored 14.166 in qualification for this display.
And the pike Jaeger to start, feet locked together. Beautiful line in the handstand. And then the Stolder, now in the pack salto. Those transitions, requirement on the uneven bars. And there the Ginga somersault, back somersault with half turn to catch. Pirouette, slight adjustment there, softened in the back, but she's kept it going. A full twisting double tuck, just a little low, but she did very well indeed to get through that routine.
Gosh, she handled a tricky moment very dexterously there.
She did. For a moment, she nearly lost it, but she did very well indeed to keep it going. She went a little bit soft in the back. This was the dismount, though. No problem there. Just a little bit low with the chest on the landing. But a good routine under difficult circumstances.
Now, Georgia Vila will know that this is a number that might make things difficult for her to really push into that top group of gymnasts, having started so very strongly. We'll come back to that in a moment. Just to let you know that Nina Derwal scored 13.733 on the balance beam, up by over half a mark from qualification. She was the gymnast in second place coming into this rotation. Julia Steingruber now competing on the floor, was 19th at the end of the first rotation.
Oh, beautiful leap to begin her exercise. Oh, that was a very big pass there, full twisting double straight. And another double straight somersault. Absolute control on the landing. She now has the audience with her, clapping along to the music. Front walk out into the double tuck. Very nice double pike. Fluid movements. Well, Julia Steingruber really growing in confidence as she progresses through these championships.
A year ago, Julia Steingruber's career lay in nothing short of total uncertainty. And look at where she is now. Look at what she has returned from and what she still is.
Look at this big opener, full twisting, double straight. Absolutely nails it. She's earned herself an Olympic berth here, the second highest individual spot after those qualifying with the top 12 teams. And this is a great floor routine.
Now we have the number for Georgia Vila, 12.633. It is a leap up by just a tenth from qualification, but it's not the kind of jump she was looking for in order to push into real contention. Li Shijia scores 13.366, so she's down by about 3/4 of a mark from her score in qualification, was the 7th strongest qualifier overall.
Yes, she had those little issues in the middle, didn't she? So that's where those marks came off.
Those of you who are new to gymnastics, it's something that we look for is just how these scores compare to qualification, because it gives us a good idea of who's really moving in this competition. Tang Si Jing is next on the uneven bars.
There's the pack salto. That's somersault between the bars to transfer them from the high to the low. Lined, it's that pirouette, the L grip position, lovely work, extension through the shoulders, quite exquisite. High into the Jaeger somersault. This is good. Giant circles building up into a double straight, and again a beautiful dismount, pencil straight in the air. Extended work, she'll be pleased with that.
That's a very good display indeed. from Tang Xijing, who scored 14.633 for this piece in qualification.
Genau in den Stand getunkt.
Yes, the People's Republic of China had a few issues on the uneven bars in the team competition, but there's no signs of any problems here. Extended right the way through to the toes. All of the handstands hitting the vertical. And look at that, floated through the double straight to finish.
And let's just keep an eye on her, because she's going up on the balance beam next, reigning Youth Olympic champion on the balance beam, and the Asian Junior champion on the balance beam. So she's about to go to one of her favourite pieces. Julia Steingruber scores 13.633 for her floor exercise. She's gained just a small amount.
Yes, 13.5 in qualification, but it's moving in the right direction.
Now, Lilia Akaimova unfortunately lost contact with the balance beam on one of her tumbling passes. Her score was 11.4 as a result. So for Akaimova, it's not been the sort of competition she was hoping. Has had difficulties on both the uneven bars and on the balance beam, the 12th strongest in qualification. Sometimes it happens with great regret. To look now at a gymnast who did have a very good start on the uneven bars. Flavia Saraiva scored 13.3 for her first piece, 16th place coming into this.
Yes, and she's made the beam final as well, known for her work on the beam and the floor. And that's lovely, isn't it? Nice linking skill. Petite gymnast, very dynamic. And there's evidence of it. However, 20 years of age and working well. Flip layout. Again, very confident. Extended right the way through to the toes. And that was a difficult and well-performed leap. She had a slight waver at the end. The head has to go right back in that ring position to count in order to add to the D value. And there's the head going back again. Great extension in her work. Side somersault. And again, all of them very slightly different to count. Great focus into the double pike and a beautiful routine from Flavia Saraiva.
It wasn't that long ago that she won the balance beam title at the Brazilian National Championships. She also won a medal at the Youth Olympic Games a bit longer ago. Now we've got a contender here, Tang Xijing, 14.533, third in the all-around. She's in the mix.
Yes, and interesting that she's come in almost as a late replacement, hasn't she, for her teammate, Liu Tingting. So we'll have to keep our eyes on her, see how she progresses through the final two operators.
Well, it's all going to be told, really, in the next routine for her. The balance beam, her specialist piece that she didn't have a good time with in the qualification process. So, flip a coin on it. It's going to be fascinating, but definitely the 21st strongest qualifier is in the discussion at the moment. Angelina Melnikova, 6th best after the vault.
Yes, and is a finalist on this apparatus. Stoop in into the pirouette. Toe on half turn to catch. It's going well. Stoop in. There's the Pike Jaeger. That forward somersault. Catching with straight arms, keeping the swing going. A little bit of strength required. And the full twisting, double tuck to finish. Well, there are a couple of precarious moments in that routine.
I think she knows it too. I'm just wondering, did she get a little clip of the feet on the
bar?
bar?
I think she did. As she swung into her dismount, she tried to make the connection. Let's take another look. Here's that undergrasp into the Jaeger somersault. That was very good. Nice straight arms, keeping the swing going. Back up into the handstand. Now there, you could just see her toes clipping the bottom bar, and she did very, very well indeed to get the dismount round and safely onto her feet.
That is an unbelievably well stabilised landing considering what happened there.
Yes, there will be a penalty, but she did incredibly well, drawing on all of her experience there.
Flavia Saraiva, big gainer here, Saraiva. 14.033. She's picked up a lot across the first couple of pieces. That is in 8th place.
Yes, it was a beautiful beam routine.
Elizabeth Seitz scored 14.866 for her signature piece to get things going. Now she takes to the balance beam 12.833 in qualifying.
Nice split change on the end. Yeah, she doesn't have quite the difficulty as some of the other gymnasts on this operator, so she'll want to be clean. There's the front somersault. And a flick into the straight somersault. Side somersault. Yeah, very nice double spin. The audience clapping every move. Series safely through in those leaps. Showing her workload to the beam. And a full twisted straight front somersault to finish, and the roar goes up. Performing in front of a home crowd, she managed under incredible pressure.
Well, this is interesting. The 10th strongest in qualification, Ellie Seitz. And you know what? Having got through that, she might well have a discussion with the podium.
Yes, let's take another look at it. There's a back flip, the somersault to 2 feet. In the straight position, doing well to control that.
Angelina Melnikova, 13.9. She's down by 0.8 from qualification, is in 4th place at the moment.
Yes, both difficulty and execution down a little.
Well, the uneven bars now proving the challenge that confronts Melanie de Jesus dos Santos. Was in 4th place coming into this rotation. The reigning European champion to the bars.
Oh, that's a very... Oh! I was just about to say that's a very difficult combination. Stooping into the straddle catcher.
Well, Melanie de Jesus dos Santos had a tricky time of things in the team competition. And she's now got to really pick herself back up, both literally and figuratively, as she heads once again to the uneven bars to try to get as many marks as she can on this display.
And she's performed it again with no problem second time round. There's no disguising the fall. Oh, and she's come off again. Full twist impact. Well, surely she won't be able to recover from 2 falls. She sprays her hands, puts some chalk and thinks, what's just happened? Look at this. Full twist in the pack salto, the barrage, and she comes off, unfortunately. Oh dear. It's not going her way, is it?
It's been a long and grueling competition for Melanie de Jesus dos Santos.
She needs to finish it. Full twist. Winds up. Just a dismount to go now. And beautiful dismount as well. Full twisting double straight. What a talent she is. Superb gymnast, but unfortunately not her day on the uneven bars.
Well, she is the reigning European all-around champion. There'll be many, many more opportunities like this to come for Melanie de Jesus dos Santos. It may be that this one isn't quite going to be her day. But we don't doubt, nobody doubts her pedigree as an all-around gymnast.
No, she's a superb and beautiful gymnast to watch. I'll be looking forward to seeing her on the next apparatus. But what a round, Ollie. Falls from Lee, falls from Jesus de Santos.
Not from her, Ellie Seitz. 13.233, she's gained half a mark on the balance beam. Ellie Seitz is in 6th place. Keep an eye on her. Keep an eye on a lot of people at the moment because it's very close to call. At the moment, it's Biles, Derwal and Tang, 1, 2 and 3. That's just provisional. We still have more to go. Here's Asuka Teramoto.
"23 years of age, placed 8th all around at the Rio Olympics. And the Japanese team were 4th, just out of a medal. 1.5 walkout into the 2.5 twist. Handspring double front, handspring front with double twist, should I say. All of the spins need to be controlled. Judges looking for clean entries and exits. Building towards the final pass. Up into the double pike. Just a little jump forwards there. And that was a nice routine on the floor from Asuka Teramoto.
Well, Asuka Teramoto, the reigning Japanese all-around champion and also the champion on floor. The event championships took place shortly after it.
Yes, interestingly, Japan placed in 11th in qualification. They didn't make the team final, but fortunately for them, they have qualified for their home Olympics next year, so they'll be pleased about that. Here was that final tumble pass, that double pike. Just had to move forwards a little bit. Very slightly under-rotated, but saved herself from any major error.
12.7 for Asuka Teramoto. She's in 19th place in this all-around final. Now the score needs to come in for Melanie de Jesus dos Santos. And if you're just joining the action now, with great regret, she did come off the uneven bars twice, and that is going to have quite an impact. When we have that score in, we will then be able to bring you clarification on the halfway mark of the whole competition. And it's going to be very positive viewing indeed for the USA, for Belgium, and for the People's Republic of China as we head to the balance beam for the top group of gymnasts. But it is a gymnast from the second group at the moment, from the peloton, who has broken away and joined the leading group.
Yes, and here we have Simone Biles warming up. Interesting to see if she does her very own skill as a dismount in this all-around competition. She did it in qualification, but not in the team event, interestingly. So she's there. Confirmation of her standing so far, total 29.966.
And an interesting battle coming up with Nina Derwal. Now, Derwal, the 8th strongest in qualification, she has had an absolute crackerjack of a first half of the competition. Yes, she's begun on her signature piece, but she also picked up half a mark on the balance beam compared to qualification. No doubt about it, she's in this discussion.
Yes, and another gymnast with this great competition temperament that we've talked about, applying herself to the task at hand and being able to produce the routines when it matters. And she showed that probably almost more so on the beam today than on bars, where we expect her to do well. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes now on floor and vault.
The numbers in for Melanie de Jesus dos Santos. It's 11.933 on the uneven bars. It means that Tang Si-jing is the big mover. She's up 6 places. Watch Ellie Black, who's come up 5 places and has floor and vault still to come.
Yes, strong apparatus for her, those.
Down the rest of the leaderboard, Sunisa Lee has dropped by 4 places into 9th position. Flavia Saraiva is on the move as well, as is Georgia Godwin. Georgia Vila, unfortunately, in the other direction there. And this is a look at those places, 17 to 24 thus far in the competition. Tomi Hatakeda is the big upwards mover there. She's gone up by 3 positions to 17th. Her teammate Asuka Teramoto just dropping down a fraction. Now, this is very interesting indeed, because what we have to contemplate, with some of the top group just slipping away a little bit, Nina Derwal, who's going to get things started on the floor, is really well positioned to make an assault on the podium, especially bearing in mind that she and Ellie Black are going to finish at the vaulting table.
Yes, which could often be a high-scoring apparatus. Just for sort of knowledge, she scored 13.6 in qualification on floor, Nina Derwal, and that might be a good marker as to how she may perform in this next rotation.
Just a moment ago, we saw the group of gymnasts warming up on the uneven bars, who were placed 4th in the overall pack of qualifiers. This is the group of gymnasts who were the 3rd strongest group.
Sunisa Lee there, just finishing her warm-up. She'll want to put her uneven bars exercise behind her.
Yes, it's to the balance beam for the top group of gymnasts. They're the leader of the whole competition, leading at the moment by just over a mark. And what we then have is a fascinating state of play, where we've got from 2nd through to 6th place a 28 point something for all of those gymnasts. So a lot of names are fighting for the podium, but currently Simone Biles is en route to gold number 16 at the World Championships. Simone Biles to the balance beam.
Yes, where she was the highest qualifier. Cleanly through the triple wolf spin. Slight pause between the free walkover and the jumps. Nothing serious. No pause there though. Flick layout, layout. It's a very nice combination. Aerial cartwheel. Split jump with half turn across the beam, very difficult. You can't see the beam as you come out, so it's hard to keep focused and balanced. Now then. Back flip, single twisting double tuck, and playing it safe, but a beautiful routine from her. She just keeps on producing the goods.
Almost a slight grimace as she walked away. I doubt the judges will echo that in their evaluation of that super display from Simone Biles on the balance beam. She's got this one by the scruff of the neck at the moment, but she is extremely well positioned too. The current silver medalist on the provisional standings, Nina Derwal, on floor.
And an elegant walk into a start position. Really selling it to the judges already. A double tuck. Simple but well performed. That was very well performed as well. Triple and the double wolf spins. She's enjoying this performance, putting her heart and soul into it. Very nice combination. Blowing the judges a kiss. Nina Derwal is on a mission, and a mission that's going in the right direction.
Definitely, Nina Derwal is in the game and in the race. Outstanding stuff from the Belgian athlete. When you talk about Nina Derwal, we all talk about the uneven bars, but sometimes that is at the detriment of talking about her as an all-around gymnast. This is the proof.
Yeah, it's a beautiful routine from her. Perhaps not the difficulty of some of the gymnasts in the acrobatic elements. This is the double tuck, money put a twist in, but she made sure that everything was performed incredibly well. And in gymnastics, that's what it's all about. Here, the 1.5 twist, full twisting, front in combination. No problems at all on the landing, and beautifully executed in terms of the dance.
Simone Biles still in the lead. 44.599 after 14.666. Almost there. Li Shijia competing on the balance beam. The gymnast in 7th place coming into this rotation. Scored a 14.5 for this in qualification. It's a special display.
Box splits, front splits. Look at the extension in the ankles. Slight readjustment there before the back flip. Aerial cartwheel. Very light on her feet. Oh, and that's beautiful. Handspring, tuck front somersault, linked together. As was that leap into the back flip.
On for exercise, representing Italy, Georgia.
She has such poise. Her upper body carriage is beautiful. Of the full spin, slight adjustment, minor deduction. And a few steps back on the double pike, but a clean routine from the 16-year-old.
She looks thoroughly at home, doesn't she, in her debut World Championships in an all-around competition.
She does. Look at this. Handspring to on, linked into the tuck front somersault. Light and very well executed. This was the dismount. Goes for the difficulty. Double pike. Just over-rotates slightly, a few steps, but avoids a fall. She's still in the race.
13.5 for Nina Derwal. Still in the silver medal position. Just a 10th down from qualification. That's absolutely fine. Vault to come. Sarah Voss, 15th place coming into this.
And the double twist in Yuchenko from Sarah Voss. Nice central landing from her. The 5.4 difficulty value, so that mark out of 10. And the 5.4 added to it, pushing high into the straight somersault. Feet locked together. Just the left foot to the side. A consistent performance.
14.5 is the score for Sarah Voss. She's provisionally in 4th place, so there are some gymnasts still to go who will likely go above her. Julia Steingruber comes in 18th place, but this is where she can do magical things.
Yes, a good apparatus for her. She has the difficulty, and there the handspring. 1.5 twist off in the straight position with the Rudy. Forward entry to the skill, drives the heels up into the straight somersault. Wraps into the twist. Just a little bit to the side there, but a difficult vault, performed very well indeed.
Julia Steingruber picks up a score of 14.933, just down by a fraction from her 15+ score in qualifying. Steingruber has provisionally gone into the bronze medal position. Might see a little bit of a change of things after some very strong vaulters. Aline Fries, for example, of France, virtually hit a 15, and she's moved up to a provisional 5th place, so she might well appear higher up in the standings than she was before. Now, this is going to be very intriguing indeed, this next routine on the balance beam, and we'll say a bit more about that in just a moment once the score for Li Shijia has come in. It's 13.7. And 3rd place at the moment for Li Shijia, but she's down by not far off a mark from the qualification.
Yes, a few execution errors there that she picked up.
Now, quite what we're going to see here on the balance beam is fascinating. This is the gymnast who's currently holding the bronze medal position. Youth Olympic champion on this piece, but 11.733 in qualification.
That was a very nice start, the layout somersault onto the end. Yes, certainly capable of great things on this apparatus. She just needs to keep composed and calm. And there was no fault there at all, was there? Beautiful straight somersault. Oh, look at those leaps. Unbelievable extension, such amplitude. Just a little extra step. Nothing too serious. High up on her toes. Free walkover and the 2 jumps linked together. She's going very well indeed so far. Well, that was so much better than qualification. She knows it.
Suddenly, we have a gymnast who was 21st in qualification, who wasn't even an automatic qualifier for this final, who's absolutely in the race for a medal.
Showing maturity way beyond her years. Look at those leaps. Absolutely beautiful. Head right back. You can see that from the aerial view and into the Corbett flick. Such extension. That's relief, I think.
That was the big one. That was the key performance, and she has just delivered it. Tang Si Jing is in this, and no doubt about it. Still a long way to go, though. Still a long way to go. Brooklyn Moores in 8th position, coming to the uneven bars.
Yes, we saw her with that beautiful floor routine earlier, didn't we? There's a shap. And to the low bar. Full pirouette. Let's work on the low bar. Now the transition to the high bar. Oh, that was nice. Kicking into the giant toe on. Front somersault, half turn. Shoot front, very nice indeed. Cleanly through for Brooklyn Moores.
Brooklyn Moores told us a quite spectacular story on the floor exercise, but what narrative are the judges writing for her here on the uneven bars?
Yes, look at that. Keeping the swing going, keeping focused all the way through. A lot of work there on the low bar. And here, build up to the dismount, toe on, shoot front, half turn in the straight position. Lovely control. She'll be very pleased with that performance.
Has been a medalist on the uneven bars at the Pan American Championships. That was a couple of years ago. If you're just joining the competition, it's getting very fascinating indeed. It does seem that we have the expected leader that we all thought on their way to gold, but in terms of what happens below that, well, it's anyone's guess, really. but she certainly is well in contention. How exciting indeed to see this emerging force. An experienced athlete, Angelina Melnikova, but not as positioned, or not positioned as positively as she would like to have been coming into this in 4th place. This is the gymnast who was above her at the start of the rotation in the bronze medal position. Then it was Nina Derwal and then Simone Biles. At the moment, it's still Biles, it's still Derwal. Brooklyn Morse, 13.266.
And we're just hearing that Li Xijia has scored 14.0 on beam following an inquiry. The difficulty value has been altered.
Yes, they found an extra 3/10 there for Li Xijia. Could be of some importance, that. So we'll just come back to that one in a little while. A moment of pause, a brief moment of pause, because we've still got over a rotation to come in this competition. But a little delay for Tang Xijing to get underway, or rather to get her score. She doesn't need to get underway because she's already performed on the balance beam. But
yes, and while she waits, Angelina Melnikova has the anxious wait to perform, and she'll be trying to focus following the not so clean uneven bars exercise.
that is how it looks at the moment. It's a most encouraging lead for Simone Biles. She's gained a mark heading to the floor exercise. Well, at least she doesn't have a high difficulty on floor or anything, so that's fine.
2 whole marks ahead at the moment. Of course, we're not completely through the rotation at the moment. That needs to be noticed. But yes, it will be a spectacular conclusion to this women's all-around competition.
Simone Biles, who is going for the 5th all-around title. Now, action on the uneven bars at the moment. This is Naomi Visser.
Finishing with a full twisting double tuck.
Well, Visser did come off the apparatus shortly before our cameras made their way over to join her, but a great finish.
Yeah, certainly a great finish. I'm sure she'll be glad to be in this final, gaining experience. But unfortunately, not the uneven bars exercise that she would have hoped for. She'll move to the beam next.
I had a fantastic summer, Visser, winning the Dutch all-around title. Looked very good indeed. She was also part of that Dutch team that so memorably won the bronze medal at the European Championships in Glasgow in 2018. They very narrowly edged out the British team. To wit, let's have a look at Alice Kinsella vaulting. She comes into this in 14th place.
Yes, part of that British team that made the final, placing 6th. Guaranteeing themselves a team place in Tokyo as well. So very happy about that. But this is about her individual opportunity now. And the double twisted Yuchenko for her. Little hop back on landing. Let's see her powering down the vault run. Backflip onto the vault. And there, the 2 rotations. So much flight needed to perform these vaults. You need to control it.
14.266 for Alice Kinsella. She's in 8th position at the moment. Such a valuable member of the British team. Now that's a score of 14.6 for Tang Xijing. That's just the small matter of 3 marks higher than in qualification. She's currently in 2nd place.
Made a huge difference to her, I'm sure we'll see at the end of the round.
She's gone above Nina Derwal. Angelina Melnikova coming into this in 4th place. Big routine.
Yes, this is important for her. Flick layout. It's 5th all around last year. Beautiful link between the free walkover and the jumps. So settles herself into that full twisting backflip. double spin. That's where we saw Georgia Villa have a problem, but not the case. Angelina Melnikova, side summy. And so far, this has been very confident. And the double pike back, well, the mark of a true gymnast, coming back from the uneven bars with a fabulous routine on the beam.
Well, 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 and she has the floor to finish on, where she is superb.
Yes, look at that, the double pipe, keeping her form throughout. An excellent dismount from her. She was so confident, she really meant business on the beam.
We talk about things that are worth watching on the floor. This is one of them. Youth Olympic champion in 2014. On the floor, creator of originality and quality. Flavia Saraiva. Let's enjoy it.
Get ready to be entertained. And the whip into the double straight. She moves so quickly. Ball twisting double somersault. She did very well there to keep within the floor area. And Stuttgart, clap along. One and a half twist, full twisting combination. Double spin in the split position as the music changes tempo superbly. This is fabulous. And a big double pike. Flavia Saraiva at her best.
That may be music that you associate with the fin de siècle, but it's anything but the end of her competition. Allusions to the beautiful choreography of Pierre Sandrini and the music associated with the Moulin Rouge back in the glory days of Parisian cabaret.
And look at that, the whip into the double straight. Such difficult work and so beautifully performed. A real entertainer, came to the fore at the Rio Olympic Games. And renowned for her work on this apparatus. And there you can see why. She's enjoying it, and so are we.
It just suits her, doesn't it, perfectly, that orchestration. Now that suits Melnikova. 14.0 is the score. On the balance beam, she's gained about 3/4 of a mark from qualifying, sits in 4th.
Yes, by just 1/10, and we know she's moving to a strong apparatus.
Well, we've got a race on now going into the final rotation. It's Biles, Tang, Derwal, Melnikova, and then there's a little bit of a gap. We'll look at that in just a moment as we wait for the score for Flavia Saraiva, who's been a big improver so far across the first couple of pieces. This is going to be a noisy one in a moment. German fans are going to love this. This is a great fun floor routine about to be performed. Ellie Seitz, inspiration to so many young gymnasts.
Yeah, it's the 9th highest qualifier, a total of 54.999. That's sort of a good target for her. They'll all want to be improving from qualification. They'll have their own personal targets.
She's very nearly achieved yet another target, that of taking a 5th all-around title at the World Championships. First did it in 2013. Longevity as well as quality of the very highest standards. Maybe not in her mind anyway at that particular moment. But she is as exacting upon herself as they come, really.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? She does a routine like that on the beam and she's still not 100% happy with it. She knows it still could be improved and she's constantly pushing the gymnastic boundaries.
13.933 for Saraiva. Another gain, this time of a single tenth, and she's in 7th place.
Und dann steht sie bereits die Ampel wird gleich auf grün springen, meine Damen und Herren. An ihrem dritten Gerät. Die Applaus.
Elisabeth Seitz of Germany coming into this in 6th position, and now to perform a floor routine that is bags of fun, and the crowd will certainly make it even more enjoyable.
She instantly has them on her side, appealing to them to clap. She doesn't need to, they're already with her. She draws a heart in the sky, and off she goes. And a big double Arabian to start. It's a big run, 1.5 into the double turn. Super choreography. And the big double pike. Well, Ellie Seitz has certainly given the Stuttgart crowd something to smile about. Superb work on the floor.
I think they may possibly have enjoyed that. I don't wish to speak for them, but well, she's had a great competition. The hugely experienced and respected athlete who trains here at MTV Club in Stuttgart. And there, a moment of celebration and congratulation with the gymnast lying in the bronze medal position, Nina Derwal.
Yes, what a reception she's received here. It's that big double Arabian, the half turn into the 2 front somersaults. Hard to land. She managed it very well indeed. This was the double pike. But it was more than just the tumbling. It's a super routine. Very entertaining. And that's what they wanted.
And that's what they got. German team absolutely buoyant.
That's nice camaraderie, isn't it, on the competition floor? All of the international competitors supporting each other.
She's certainly going to be up there. That's very good indeed. 6th place for Ellie Seitz at the moment, 13.3. Big gain of about half a mark for Seitz.
Yes, and she's got vault to go.
A good score on vault. Well, that would be fascinating. Just to think about it, Ellie Seitz, she's at the moment less than a mark away from the bronze medal position. In fact, she's just over a mark away. Excuse my poor mathematics. Now that's interesting. There's our confirmation of the change of the score for Li Shijia. We've also just had the performance of Sunita Lee of the USA on the balance beam, and we'll give you the score on that in just a moment. No chance to pause for breath, though, because we've now got Ellie Black competing on the floor exercise, where she scored a 13.2 in qualification. So Ellie Black on floor, currently in 5th place.
Yes, and she has the difficulty, doesn't she, on this apparatus? Very much a change in terms of the music from the last performer. Full twist in front, walk out into the triple twist. Big opener from Ellie Black, dramatic music. 2.5 twist walkout into double pike. Incredibly difficult. She made it look easy. Making her way into the corner once more. Handspring double front. Front, should I say, straight with 2 twists. Well, dramatic music, dramatic choreography, and I think we're going to have a dramatic close to this competition.
Absolutely correct. This is going to be a final rotation to dream of from a sports fan's perspective.
Look at the power here. Full twist in the straight front, walking out, and also managing to fit that triple twist right into the corner. Pinpoint precision. And she comes back across the diagonal, this time with a 2.5 twist, and this time the double pike right to the corner. Superb work from Ellie Black. What a competitor she is. And that was the end. Let's see what the judges make of that routine. Could she be in the mix?
The maple leaf is flying. They believe in Ellie Black. The gymnastics world has always believed in Ellie Black. She's delivered another powerful performance, and it may well be that she is part of that conversation because she finishes on vault, as does she, Ellie Seitz.
Yes, just 2 years ago, Ellie Black took that silver medal in the all-around.
13.533 for Ellie Black, and she's in 6th place, moving into the vault, the final rotation. And now we shall give you clarification on just how little we know going into this final rotation. What we do know is that Simone Biles is doing a wonderful job, but Tang Si-jing is 1.3 marks behind, courtesy of her work on the balance beam. The gap has narrowed. Nina Derwal is down into 3rd position. No move for Melnikova. Li Shijia's up, and Ellie Black is also in the conversation too. Julia Steingruber has flown up 9 positions into 9th place. Much is the case for Aline Fries, who's right up there as well on the verge of the top 10. Brooklyn Moores has just dropped down a touch into 15th place, and down this end of the leaderboard, Georgia Vila has slipped down to 21st position after a very strong start to the competition, and Melanie de Jesus dos Santos is in 19th place.
Very interesting reading, and maybe of note that Tang Si-jing has performed on floor twice so far in the qualification and in the team event. The high score she's had is in 13.5.
Yeah, so she might need a little bit of that buffer, essentially, and she has got around about a mark of buffer coming into the final rotation when it comes to actually staying on the podium. The gap between Derwal and Melnikova, that's a single 10th from 3rd to 4th at the moment.
Very close indeed. We know Melnikova has an astonishing floor exercise. Derwal's on vault, where sometimes you can add to your all-around total, perhaps score a little bit more highly than other apparatus.
Now, the interesting thing about the floor rotation now, for those of you new to watching the sport, is we go in reverse qualification order. So that's why we finish with Simone Biles on the floor exercise as the top qualifier, and it leads always to a very dramatic finish. These are the gymnasts who are on the balance beam, and they're the ones who came in as the 4th strongest group of qualifiers.
Yes, they'll be wanting to put in good routines on their final apparatus. For many of these gymnasts who perhaps aren't in the mix in terms of pushing for a medal, they'll want good all-around scores to finish their World Championship all-around campaign.
Just looking at that group, Diana Varinska in 13th place there. She's looking well positioned to make vast improvements. The uneven bars, we have Julia Steingruber, who's 9th in the standings at the moment, competing there. She's quite nicely positioned, has moved up quite a bit in the competition. Now, this is where it could be fascinating, because Ellie Seitz, who's 8th, Ellie Black, who's 6th, and Nina Derwal, who's 3rd, are all finishing on the vault and have the chance to pick up some good numbers. Now, Derwal scored a 13.5 for her vault in qualifying.
She doesn't have the difficulty, or she didn't have the difficulty. If she performs the same vault, there's not so much of a capacity to get a great score. She may choose to up the difficulty. That is a possibility. We don't know.
It's all about what's in her mind at the moment. The gymnast who sits in the bronze medal position with 1 rotation to go. Ellie Seitz certainly has the difficulty. Ellie Black certainly has the difficulty.
These gymnasts having to keep focused before their final performance. Well, it's a party atmosphere here in Stuttgart in the arena.
Well, I don't know about young man, but that's one very young gymnast there. Tang Si-jing, an incredible performance we've seen so far from her. Simone Biles leads the way, 44.599. She has a mark and 3/10 ahead of a gymnast who was the 21st strongest in qualification and has come in to replace her teammate Liu Ting-ting, who was the 6th best in qualifying, who had to withdraw.
Quite remarkable, quite remarkable. Well, it looks like we're nearly close to the start of this final rotation.
How are your nerves holding up at home?
Better than mine.
Yes, that laugh tells me yours aren't holding up too well at all, Lisa.
So much going on. Incredible standard. Unbelievable talent on display.
Well, we're going to start our focus on the floor exercise where the highest qualifiers are completing their campaign. We start with Li Shijia, 5th position, coming into the final rotation. Here comes her last performance.
Contemporary music. Starts the routine with a triple twist. High in the flight, good in the form. Two and a half twist, front combination. She was right on the edge of the floor. I believe she avoids the penalty, which is good. Very tidy in the backflips and the somersault, knees and feet locked together. And again, controlling the double pike. Well, a lovely routine there to finish from Li Shijia from the People's Republic of China. What a prospect she is for them.
What a World Championship debut for Li Shijia. We've seen so little of her in international competition. We want to see a lot more of her.
Yes, of course. And China have qualified, as they did for the Tokyo Olympics. It'll be difficult in terms of their selection. They have so much talent. Will she appear? We've thoroughly enjoyed watching her here in these all-around championships. They're right on the edge of the floor. Just stayed in. And here's the double tuck. Again, just a pace back to control the landing. Straight into the choreography. Nice composition from her. This experience will do her no harm whatsoever in terms of world-level competition. You cannot underestimate how big a World Championships is. And she's performing there very well at the big occasion.
Yes, who would be a Chinese selector, because there's some very fine gymnasts indeed in and around the mix. But that's a discussion for another day. Let's see where Li Shijia is going to find herself. Now, this is going to be the position we see here. The number for the gymnast that comes through the rank is going to be their highest possible finishing position. There's nowhere else they can go.
Und hier die Note von Georgia Villa. Applaus für 15,70 Punkte. 14,70.
So we have, for example, just had a provisional lead set by Georgia Villa of Italy. She's just produced a 14.7 on vault, but that is because there are many other gymnasts still to go. It's likely she's going to lead, and she does. So the current leader in the competition is Li Shijia, 13.3 her score, and she's got a 55+ mark to go into gold medal position. But now to a gymnast who we absolutely expect to be in the conversation when it comes to the podium places. The gymnast who comes into this rotation in the provisional silver medal position, having gone above Nina Derwaal from Belgium. Tang Si-jing starts the rotation in the silver medal position. She's got to really nail this one. Doesn't necessarily have the highest difficulty work. Let's see.
Takes a deep breath as she steps onto the floor. And a triple twist, punch front immediately. Very difficult work. No signs of nerves there. Two and a half twist, pike front. Triple spin. As we saw on beam, superb extension in the leaps. Clean in the double twist. Well, that was a very nicely presented routine from Tang Si-jing. Super conclusion to her all-around competition. Will it be enough?
Some very strong scores might be coming from elsewhere on the field of play. That's what we've got to discover, but she's certainly done as much as she can.
Yeah, she can be very proud with her performance today. She's kept composed, calm, very clean in her work. Coach is clearly delighted.
Now, this is going to be very fascinating indeed. Finishing on an apparatus that she can score very highly on indeed. 8th coming into it. Here goes Ellie Seitz. Has got a big vault potentially coming up. She scored 14.6 for this in qualification.
While everyone holding their breath, a super performance from Ellie Seitz. A 5.4 difficulty, the double twist in Yurchenko, the family thrilled. And whatever the outcome, she's done a tremendous job for herself and for Germany.
She's brought this one back. This double twisting Yurchenko vault, and it could be very useful indeed right now. Beautiful execution.
Yes, very central landing. Super spatial awareness, so determined on the approach. Giving it 110%. Wrapping into the twist. Well done, Elizabeth Seitz. Look at the smile. Speaks volumes.
So Tang Si-jing has not yet had her score come through. Will it be enough to send her into a provisional lead? Yes, she is currently in the gold medal position. Tang Xijing, 13.6. That's a very good score indeed. And what a conclusion to the competition for this debutante. We'll come back to her in a moment. Ellie Seitz is in the silver medal position. 14.6 for that vault, exactly as she did in qualifying, and she's currently on the provisional podium.
But can this young gymnast knock her off? Who knows?
She certainly is a great performer on the floor. Angelina Melnikova comes into this in 4th position.
Full twisting, double straight. Huge tumble to start with. Very nice combination. 2 double spins. And another double straight. Great work from Melnikova. Front walk out to the double twist. All of these spins so important. She's building now. She needs to finish it. And a step back on the double pike, but a good routine from Angelina Melnikova from Russian Federation. Silver medalist with the team. Can she take home an individual medal?
Well, in order to go into the lead, she's going to need a score in excess of 14.5. She scored 14.1 in qualifying.
Giving Stuttgart a wave. They've been so supportive.
Now, let us consider what we might see here from Ellie Black from Canada. 41.666. She ended the last rotation in 6th place. Has got some good vaulting, though.
Yes, such an explosive performer. Handspring, layout 1.5 twist, Rudy, 5.4.
Oh, she might just have hurt herself here.
What? She looks like she's struggling there.
Oh, dear.
She landed just a little bit short, didn't she? And clearly it is in some discomfort for her right ankle. Let's take another look. Powers in. Hands go straight on the front, handspring, wrapping into those twists, but there she landed forward and had to take a big pace forward. She seemed okay immediately, but as soon as she presented to the judges, as soon as the job had been done, she grasped hold of her ankle, and let's hope that's nothing too serious.
She's been taken away for assessment here, Ellie Black, and we will try to give you any form of update on that if we have it. We'll also give you an update on the score for Ellie Black when the time comes. Now, this is the anxious wait for Angelina Melnikova. She looks happy. She's in the silver medal position. 56.399 after a 14.066. And we've just had an indication that Ellie Black is provisionally in the bronze medal position too after a 14.566. So it's Tang, Melnikova and Black. Ellie Seitz is in 4th position. We still, of course, have got this gymnast to come. And we've also got Simone Biles to come. But those are not the signs we wanted to see at the end of the competition for Ellie Black, who's currently in the bronze medal position, but more significantly is receiving medical assessment at the moment after a difficult landing on the vault.
Yes, seems to be in some considerable pain there. She's getting the attention she needs. Meanwhile, the competition continues, and this gymnast needs to keep focused. She's performed so well right around the arena so far.
coming into this rotation in bronze medal position, Nina Derwal. Her vault score was 13.5 in qualifying.
Well, a big hop back on a relatively simple vault. Beautiful flight, lovely line, but just a 4.6 difficulty value. Here we see the approach run, round off into Yuchenko with just a full twist, hop back to control the landing. Nicely performed, a good conclusion from her, but will it be enough? I'm not so sure.
It may well be that she's just slightly priced out of this one in terms of difficulty.
Yes.
Not in terms of execution, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, she gets lots of lift. A gymnast that's quite tall needs to get the lift to complete the rotation. Lovely form in the air, feet together, straight shape. Just that hop back. Very central though. And she really needed to nail that exactly, really, to give herself any chance whatsoever, I think, at a medal. Let's see.
We shall discover in just a moment the position for Nina Derwal. Gymnast who produced a 13.5 for this vaulting qualifying. 13.6, not quite for Nina Derwal. She's in 4th position. She's had a superb competition though. Just not quite there at the end, but still one of the world's finest all-arounders.
Yeah, she's carried herself so well, hasn't she, with poise and elegance. Super to watch.
The leading gymnast is Tang Xijing of the People's Republic of China. Simone Biles is still to come. So it is Tang, Melnikova and Black, 1, 2 and 3 as the competition goes on here in Stuttgart at the 49th World Championships.
Yeah, Melnikova, she's never won an individual medal at a World Championships. Could this be her time?
This is going to be a very long X number of minutes or so of her career, isn't it? Simone Biles, that's what she needs in order to go into the lead, a 12.301. It's probably doable, isn't it, on the floor exercise for her?
Yes, and let's see if she puts in her signature, or 2 signature moves, should we say.
We have seen such exciting gymnastics from the People's Republic of China with Li Shijia in 7th place at the moment and Tang Xijing, the leader. 56.899 is the magic number at the moment. Wow, this is a gymnast who was 21st in qualification and who was not part of the final because her teammates, 2 of them, were above her. Yu Tingting was withdrawn from the competition, or had to withdraw from the competition, and as a result of that, Tang Xijing has grasped this opportunity.
Nina Derwal seems very happy with her competition, as she should be. She's done a superb job.
Some of the Japanese fans getting some practice in for a year's time, supporting at the Olympic Games. Asuka Teramoto is currently in 11th place. Now we continue with our look at the gymnastics taking place on the floor, where those who were the strongest in the qualification process are concluding their campaign. Sunita Lee was the 2nd strongest in qualification. Has had a tricky competition at times, but we've still seen just what a great gymnast she is. Sunita Lee comes into this in 7th place in the provisional standings.
There's a big opener, the double-double in the tuck position. Such a strong worker on the floor. There's a double straight. Spotting the landing. Triple and the double wall spin. and a half twist, full twist combination. Carrying herself beautifully so far. There's a double tuck. Well, mesmerising music and a mesmerising performance from Sunita Lee. Superb talent from the United States of America.
So much is still to come from this 16-year-old gymnast, a first-year senior. She will doubtless acquire so much from being in this all-around World Championship final, will have gained so much experience. Simone Biles saying that she's proud of her for that impressive work on the floor exercise. Impressive
it was. Look at that. Backflip into the double twist in double back. That was the first tumble pass. Very difficult work, one so young. And here, double straight. Look at the form in the air. Here, the triple and the double. Having to keep focused, particularly after those difficult tumble passes. You get to a point where you need to really control a movement. You may be out of breath. And there, the double tuck. Such extension right through to her fingertips.
This is a gymnast who's had a very difficult year in terms of personal circumstances. To even be in contention, a World Championship all-around final at the age of 16, to come in as the second strongest in qualification, shows what a gymnast this is. 14.2, Sunita Lee is currently in 7th place in the all-around standings. But you know what? There's a lot to be excited about there.
Yes, don't forget that name, Sunita Lee. We'll see more of her in the world of gymnastics, I'm sure.
So this is what we know. Tang Si-jing has secured herself a medal. Angelina Melnikova has also managed to get that coveted individual World Championship medal at last, at long, long last. There's just one more gymnast who can change things in terms of the podium. Oh, by the way, it's Simone Biles. And here she goes, going for World All-Around title number 5. It's in her hands.
What a conclusion to this all-around competition. Here she goes. Up she goes. Triple twisting, double somersault. She's out of the floor area, but I don't think anybody cares.
She's still in the building, that's all that matters.
And there's Biles number 2. Double straight with the half turn. Full twisting straight walker into full twisting double tuck. An astonishing work from Simone Biles. Very entertaining floor routine. Backs the bounce. Here it is. Double, double. Well, that was Simone Biles. Surely the 5th all-around title is hers.
We live in luxurious times as fans of gymnastics, for we are able to witness Simone Biles, and maybe we won't realise until much later just how lucky we have been.
Yes, a phenomenal talent. She has dominated this competition. The floor exercise was not faultless, but boy, was it impressive. She is leaps and bounds ahead of others in terms of difficulty. Just look at this. Double somersault with 3 twists. Just a rebound on the landing, but such difficult work. And this again, the double straight with the half turn, that second tumble pass. Look at this. Again, this is the third tumble pass. Most people would love to have this as their first. Front walkout with the full twist into the full twisting double. She makes it look effortless. And what's more, she enjoys doing it.
Gold zu gewinnen. Gold Nummer 16.
The score required is in excess of 12.3. It feels churlish to even mention it as a number. But what a performance we've seen from Tang Xijing of the People's Republic of China, and Angelina Melnikova, the European Games champion, has made it onto a world individual podium, and there'll be great delight all over the world for that result. Simone Biles, though, waits for the inevitable. It's 14.4, it's 58.999, but here's the number that really matters. First place, gold, number 5 in the all-around competition of the World Championships, her 16th gold medal. What else can you say? Let's go for 2 words. Simone Biles.
Well, an historic moment yet again. She keeps pushing the boundaries in the world of gymnastics. She's smashed every record there is. And their confirmation of her total on each of her 4 apparatus. Sensational marks, sensational performances.
We may well run out of superlatives for Simone Biles, but it's fun trying to keep them going, because that's how lucky the sporting world is. And that is one of the great stories of the competition. That's another one right there as well. Let's just digest it. Simone Biles, the favourite, takes the gold. Then we have Tang Xijing, the silver medalist, Angelina Melnikova for the bronze, and it's Ellie Black of Canada. Very, very close indeed, Ellie Black, in 4th position by only just under a couple of tenths. That's a really great display from the Canadian to get very close. But the champion is Simone Biles from the United States of America. It is her 2nd gold medal of these World Championships.
Yes, 22 in total. She's on the cusp of making records again as she goes to all the apparatus finals. But let's just digest this success in this all-around competition, and what an event it has been. We were expecting great things from all of the gymnasts here, and they didn't disappoint, did they?
She most certainly was never at risk of disappointing. Tang Xijing, let's just remind ourselves, 21st in qualification, not even an automatic qualifier for this final, and she's taken the silver in a World Championship debut.
Yes, the People's Republic of China were so disappointed to be outside of the team medals. They placed 4th just a few days ago. They had to show strength of character in coming back, and Tang Xijing just showed all the way through this competition that she was desperate to bring back a medal for China, and she's done it. Well done to her.
Angelina Melnikova for the Russian Federation, the bronze medalist. Tang Xijing of the People's Republic of China, the silver. Simone Biles of the USA, the gold medal. And we look down at the competitors who have, throughout this whole leaderboard, given us an extraordinarily exciting and dramatic women's all-around competition. Aspects there that were surprising, such as Melanie de Jesus dos Santos being in 20th position. Elisa Iorio of Italy not able to complete her competition. But outstanding from Simone Biles, the greatest in the world once more, one of the very greatest of all time. She is the champion for the 5th time at the World Championships in all-around gymnastics. A young athlete called Tang Xijing has come through to take the silver, and Angelina Melnikova, one of the most experienced out there, has taken her 1st individual World Championship honours. It's a bronze for her. Let's leave you with some of the best moments before returning in a short while for the victory ceremony. Do stay with us.
Well, have you recovered yet? What another amazing final that was. Simone Biles taking her 5th all-around World Championship title here in Stuttgart. We knew she was a favourite, but she has to come and produce, and every time she delivers. Tang Xijin takes that silver medal for the People's Republic of China, and Angelina Melnikova the bronze, first individual world medal. In the meantime, being entertained here by some local talent, showing their acrobatic prowess. The Stuttgart crowd have been thoroughly entertained throughout the course of these championships. Perhaps I should say, if you've got chairs at home, please do not try this. Display gymnastics being demonstrated. And there's a tower being built at the back there. Very impressive work. And the Stuttgart crowd appreciating the display. Gymnast giving the audience a wave. Just a small slot before we get the victory ceremony underway. Just a reminder, whilst we have the opportunity, the men's all-around competition begins again.
The gymnastics world
4 o'clock Stuttgart time.
in Halle.
Meine Damen und Herren, die Turnwelt verurteilt
That's
den
tomorrow.
Anschlag von Halle.
And then we have the apparatus finals at the
Representing
weekend
the
on Saturday and
gymnasts,
Sunday.
We will now hear a statement from Kim Bui of Germany and Algis Pagan of Slovenia, FIG athlete representative.
Kim Bui and
Stellvertretend
Aljaž
für die
Peka,
Turnerinnen und
gymnast
Turner,
representatives,
und
are
nun ein
now
Statement
being
von Kim Bui,
escorted
der
to the
deutschen
stage
Athletensprecherin,
to
und
make a
Aljaž Pagan,
statement.
dem Athletensprecher der FIG.
International Gymnastics Federation, the German Gymnastics Federation, and the Organizing Committee of Artistic Gymnastics World Championship Stuttgart 2019 are all shocked by the events in Halle. All three organizations condemn the attack by an alleged right-wing extremist in the strongest possible terms. We would like to set a clear signal against anti-Semitism and all kinds of extremism, neither of which has a place in our society. We stand for the internationalism, cosmopolitanism, and tolerance. Our thoughts are with the victims and their families.
Der Internationale Turnverband, der Deutsche Turnerbund sowie das Organisationskomitee der Turn-WM Stuttgart 2019 als auch wir, das Turnteam Deutschland, sind von den Geschehnissen in Halle an der Saale schockiert. Den Anschlag durch einen mutmaßlichen Rechtsextremisten verurteilen alle 4 Organisationen aufs Schärfste und möchten hiermit ein deutliches Zeichen gegen Antisemitismus und jede Art von Extremismus setzen. Beides hat in unserer Gesellschaft nichts verloren. Wir stehen für Internationalität, Weltoffenheit und Toleranz. Unsere Gedanken sind bei den Opfern und ihren Angehörigen.
Sobering statements being read out there by Alias Pagan and Kim Bui, the athletes representative here, being received well by the audience. A clear look at the arena as we prepare for the Women's All-Around Awards ceremony.
This is the FIG 49th Artistic Gymnastics World Championships Stuttgart 2019 Awards ceremony for the Women's Individual All-Around Final.
Meine Damen und Herren, die FIG Turnweltmeisterschaft 2019 in Stuttgart, die Siegerehrung, Mehrkampf der Frauen.
Please welcome the successful gymnasts.
Bitte begrüßen Sie die erfolgreichen Turnerinnen.
And the medalists and presentation party being led up onto the stage. Ellie Black there on crutches. That's a shame. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Such a fabulous performance from her to take 4th position.
In 8th place,
Top 8 gymnasts being recognised.
Auf dem 8. Platz.
representing the United States of America,
Für die Vereinigten Staaten, Sunisa Lee.
16-year-old Sunita Lee. Well, she had a problem on the uneven bars, but she equipped herself very well, recovering around the rest of the arena to take 8th place.
Brazil.
Für Brasilien, Flavia Saraiva.
Flavia Saraiva from Brazil, so entertaining on the floor and the beam. Beautiful work from her to seal 7th.
Auf dem 6. Platz.
Representing Germany,
Für Deutschland, Elisabeth Seitz.
Elisabeth Seitz receives a huge cheer. 6th place for her. She must be thrilled.
Auf dem 5. Platz.
representing Belgium,
Für Belgien, Nina Derval.
She started so strongly on the uneven bars. We wait to see her in that apparatus finals. Nina Derwal takes 5th position.
4. Platz.
representing Canada,
Für Kanada, Ellie Black.
Such a resilient and determined competitor, always consistent. Ellie Black just out of the medals in 4th place for Canada.
in 3rd place and winner of the bronze medal,
Auf dem 3. Platz und Gewinnerin der Bronzemedaille.
representing Russian Federation,
Für die Russische Föderation, Angelina Melnikova.
Well, silver medalist with the team. She's never had an individual medal. This time it's a bronze for Angelina Melnikova. Superb work from her.
in 2nd place and winner of the silver medal,
Auf dem 2. Platz und Gewinnerin der Silbermedaille.
representing People's Republic of China,
Für die Volksrepublik China, Tang Xijing.
But what a moment for Tang Xijing from the People's Republic of China. Just 16, coming in late, qualified in 21st, replaced Liu Tingting,
winner of the gold medal and world
silver medalist.
champion,
Auf dem 1. Platz, Gewinnerin der Goldmedaille und Weltmeisterin im Mehrkampf der Frauen.
representing the United States of America,
Für die Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika, Simone Biles.
And what an achievement for Simone Biles, taking the women's all-around title for the 5th time. Such a competitor. Everybody knew she was the favourite, but she has to perform when it matters. She still has to deliver. You're only as good as your last competition. She does it every time. And the presentation party stepping up.
The gold medal will be presented by Ms. Catalina Ponor, FIG Women's Ambassador.
Die Goldmedaille wird präsentiert.
5 times Olympic medalist Catalina Ponor will present the gold medal. She's the athlete's ambassador at these World Championships.
The silver medal will be presented by Mrs. Margaret Sickens-Elquist, member of the FIG Executive Committee.
Die Silbermedaille wird präsentiert von Frau Margaret Sickens-Elquist, Mitglied des Exekutivkomitees der FIG.
The bronze medal will be presented by Mrs. Mukhtarin Araz, Parliament President of Baden-Württemberg.
Die Bronzemedaille wird präsentiert von Frau Mukhtarin Araz, der Präsidentin des Landtages von Baden-Württemberg.
The flowers will be presented by Mrs. Teresa Schopa, Minister of State of Baden-Württemberg.
Die Blumen werden übergeben von Frau Teresa Schopper, Staatsministerin in Baden-Württemberg.
So the formalities of introducing the presentation party complete, and the medals being presented now. Flowers to the gymnasts between 4th and 8th. Medals have been made especially for these championships. Designed and produced exclusively by companies in the local Baden-Württemberg region. Took more than 2.5 years to create. The ribbons made from sustainable material. And I believe they're supposed to illuminate in the dark. Very happy Simone Biles receiving her gold medal. Thoroughly deserved. Superb performances from all of the gymnasts here.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor to the winner, the national anthem of the United States of America.
Meine Damen und Herren, zu Ehren der Siegerin hören Sie nun die Nationalhymne
The
der
national
Vereinigten
anthem
Staaten von
of the United
Amerika.
States of America is about to be played.
Stuttgart, show your appreciation to the best gymnast of the world.
Meine Damen und Herren, die besten Turnerinnen der Welt!
Well, she came, she delivered, and she won herself a 5th all-around world title. Simone Biles, a phenomenal competitor, Tang Xijin winning the silver for the People's Republic of China. And that historic medal for Angelina Melnikova from the Russian Federation, who takes the bronze. What an all-around final it has been.